If you don't use it, you lose it. I'm sure you've heard that many times before. And I will say one of the things that this really applies to is your balance. If you don't work on your balance or practice your balance, you will lose it. And especially as you're getting older, that is not a good thing. We want to keep our balance and maintain balance for as long as we possibly can. So I'm going to go over one of my favorite ways that I've been doing this since I was in single digits. I never even heard of this, of what it was called, that they called it the old man test or later on, but I've been doing this forever. And I will brag and say that I have some pretty darn good balance, and I always have. And I think that this is the reason why. And I never, I wasn't doing it for that. I just used to do it just because it was fun. But before we get into that, that is a little bit more advanced, I would guess you could say. So I just want to if you're just starting off your balance and you don't really have good balance to begin with, you can start off as simply as just balancing on one foot while you're doing things, or just in general, if you have time, just lift the leg up. Find a spot out in the horizon, stare at it, get that, that vision locked in on one certain thing, and just lift up a leg, balance for a little bit, maybe till you get tired, then just switch, lift up the other leg, balance on it. All right. If you want to do it, while you're making your breakfast, you can balance on one leg, shift back and forth. A lot of people like to do this while they're brushing their teeth, which is a great time to do it, especially first thing in the morning. Brush your teeth. I brush my teeth for 2 minutes, so I can try to balance for 1 minute on one side and then 1 minute on the other, or break it into 30 seconds if you can, however you need to do it. If your balance is, really shaky, always make sure that you have something nearby that you could just rest your hand on so you don't fall over, right? So those are some just easy things to think about when it comes to balance. Now we're going to get into the old man test. And like I said, I've been doing this since I was a kid, and I just started doing it because it was just challenging, and I just thought it was fun to see if I was able to do it. So I'm going to give you the entry level to the old man test. And it's basically just putting on and tying your shoes while you balance on one foot. And obviously you're not sitting down while you're doing it. So you just put your shoes in front of you, make sure that they're lined up. You don't want to pick up your left foot and then grab your right shoe. So make sure you're grabbing the correct shoe also. You can start with your laces untied. If you want to make it a little more difficult, they can already be tied, and then you have to pick them up and then untie them, put it on, and then tie it. So I'm going to show you what I would consider like level 1 first, and then I'll go to level 2, which I kind of started to do, again, just for fun. So balancing on one leg, lift that leg up, shift your body weight over to one side. You're going to basically do like a single leg deadlift and go down and pick it up. Then from there, still without putting your foot down, you're going to try to put the sneaker on or shoe on. Does help if you have laces. If you don't have laces, or another way to start with this is shoes without laces, because you still have to pick it up and put it on. But then you're going to sit there, pull your knee up, and then try to tie your shoe. All right, so if you don't have this part where you can tie, then don't worry about that. Just try to put the shoe on, put it off. So then you're going to go and you're going to switch, pick up the other one. Another thing I would also recommend is start off with the balancing on the leg that you feel most comfortable balancing on. You're always going to have better balance on one leg, and I should have taken my own advice because I started with my easier leg. All right, boom, there you go. So that's the old man test, level 1. Level 2 is just something, like I said, I just kind of added a little bit of what I thought was kind of fun to it. So I'm going to actually do it. I'll keep my laces untied, or keep them tied rather. And so instead of going down to pick it up, I'm going to actually flip it up and try to catch it. So same idea though, I'm going to balance on one leg. I'm going to put my foot inside my shoe and just kind of flip it to me like that. And I'm going to untie it. Open it up nice and wide. You want to get it open up as wide as you can. You want to make it as easy as possible to slip that shoe on. And then it doesn't have to be perfect. As far as, with the laces, when you first start off, you don't have to tighten them up too much. But this is just, again, to me, this is just a fun way to practice balance. But if you're not here yet, if this is too difficult, like, don't get hurt. Like, if you feel like you're going to fall or something like that, then obviously don't do it. Just stick with the first one I was telling you about. Just lifting your leg up, trying to balance for as long as you can. All right, so, again, work on your balance. It's super important to make sure that you have good balance. The better balance you have, less chances of falling, less chances of injury. All right, so work on your balance. Don't take it for granted. If you don't use it or practice it, you will lose it.